another J&J Studio video.
Okay guys, this is part 2. We're tracking this tornado.
I know. Circulation was northeast of Wynnewood, now on the north side, back where the original circulation
on the ground.
was, and I'm going to show you reflectivity. It's just embedded in
So that's what we're doing right now. We're tracking the tornado that's on the ground. And gateway switch equipment.
Just like the last hour here. Just, I mean, it did the original.
Yep, there was the original.
Did that died, it's cycling. So this is the next area of circulation. So it's just, it's a classic. It's wrapped in rain though. I mean, the circulation is right here. Now, turn back on reflectivity. What do you see? It's short storm in from the west. Yeah. If you look at velocity. Yeah, it's just merging that one. Velocity, the storm came in and intensified. Yeah. And you cannot see it. A lot of mess.
They're somewhere in between south and east at all times.
They're just stair-step. East, south, east, south. And that's tricky to track.
It is.
Just be honest with you. All right, the hook. Yeah.
That one and the one in Garvin County, the hook is a little bit more pronounced. I'll kind of move to David where you can see it too.
That's coming up again. I'm telling you, that's going to try to do it again. Okay.
And Megan had the track on Garvin. There's a track on 2.
Okay,
of Garvin County tornado warning.
Val's close to that.
Yes.
Val is let's go to Val Castor. And let's bring Val in. Go ahead, Val. You're hot. Go ahead. What do you see? You're getting close to that area of spin. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what we've noticed is the circulation, it seems to have been pretty stationary, not moving a whole lot. Now it kind of moved a little bit further to the southeast. The shot that you're looking at right there is demanding to zoom up a little bit just left of the road. That's going to be the area. So the circulation, I guess you could say, became a little bit less organized, but now I think it's starting to try and get organized again. So these things go in cycles like this. And I think this thing has been cycling, the better part of an hour here. So we're going to keep an eye on it. It's right ahead of us, David. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job. And you're right there. You're looking right at it. Okay. Let's see what it does. And Val, the tornado warning continues. It's about 3 miles to your east. You're right there. I mean, that's it. Val, if you see anything at all, we'll come back to you here in just a couple of minutes whether you see anything at all or not. All right. Back to links 1. Here's where Val is. And here's Wynnewood. Val's right here. There's your hook. He's looking on the back side of it now. And, okay. So if you live, again, east of Wynnewood.
It's not on 2.
And links 2. There's a city of Hart. This is a new hook developing. Same storm. It's just a different mesocyclone. There's a lot going on. New hook developing here. Oak Grove, 8:35. Rock, 9 o'clock. And Fitzhugh, 9:16. Obviously, it's not going to hit all these places. We're counting on it moving east. And then eventually southeast. And then back to the east. Okay? All right, let's go back to this storm here on links 1. And Jeremy's shot is, this is what I want to talk about here. Look at the hook. Okay, so big hail now northwest of Elmore City, northeast of Foster. What's shear rate look like?
It's still not showing much low-level rotation.
Gosh, wow, that's good.
You would think it would.
Yeah, let's go on this shot. Let's go to Jeremy now. Let's bring Jeremy Carter in, and we have boom. There you go. There's your updraft lowering. Try to become a wall cloud.
Studio lights.
Jeremy, we have your shot. You're hot. Take it.
Take a look at that, David. There's a lot of sky. This storm is basically collapsed, whenever that cold air surged out. Well, now this storm is actually intensifying, and it's got a lot of motion rising in it. I'm going to watch it. There is a little bit of rotation. Nothing crazy. It's something definitely to watch. Back to you.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't, get crazy. But right now, it's definitely an updraft lowering. Right? See how, and when you look at things, you think, oh my gosh, that's a wall cloud. Here's the deal. It's lifting underneath the updraft, and that's because the pressures are lowering above it, right? There is spin going on. Spin starts at the top and works its way down, right? And it's spinning. It's spinning. One thing, the good thing about today is that we don't have what we call a strong, low-level jet. And if we had, and if we did, today would have been a much bigger day. So what we were talking about today, just with the weather team and the storm trackers, is that our low-level jet, we're just talking about this, above our heads, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet up. When it's ripping, like the other night, the Enid night, the Grant County, K County tornadoes, that low-level jet. That's what it was all about that day. It was whipping from the south and back and came around more southeasterly, and Genesis was all over me. I mean, it was a done deal. Tonight, right now, the low-level winds at the surface are breezy, but once you get up several thousand feet up, they're just not that strong. So, again, we're getting tornadoes. We're getting weak tornadoes, and hopefully that will continue. All right, so...
We also haven't had very big hail.
I know.
Which we were talking about that.
I'm gonna do a TV scan.
A lot of times you expect huge hail.
See what's deal with the antenna.
I've seen a lot of that.
No, we've had, what's the biggest? Quarters? Golf
Give me a
balls?
minute.
The golf ball confirmed.
Yeah.
Radar was indicating some tennis balls.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll say this, the instability was like, well, just like from here south, the 6,000.
Yeah, where this storm is. Absolutely.
All right, so storm track on 2. There we go. Oak Grove, 8:35. Roth, 9 o'clock. Fitzhugh, 9:16. And Val is coming into that shot right there. Let's go to Val. And circulation is still pretty. Circulation definitely on radar. And it looks like we have a little.
It's gonna take a few minutes, guys. I'm sorry, I apologize. We're gonna look over here. Take a look at
County 450, 1090. Code 4 County.
oh crap.
Which it didn't have about 30 minutes ago. So definitely we got to keep an eye on that. It maybe starts to interact with that after you've been talking about it.
450 County, 1090.
Okay, yeah. So tell me what else you
Air
think
Force
this storm. In the very latest scan, have you noticed anything else?
Over the last 30 minutes or so, the storm has become really consolidated on the southwest side of the town.
Oh, there we go.
Anyway, from basically Foster, Elmore City, it goes right up to Wynnewood and down towards just west of Davis here. It's a pretty large tornado warning, but this storm right now is moving to the east, so I know that if you're in Wynnewood, you have a tornado warning there to your east, and then we have another storm out to your west that has a tornado warning on it. And eventually this is going to cross over I-35. Let's look at all the tornado warnings we have. Let me just see if I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This new one, by the way. Yeah, 5, I mean, technically 6. But just a bunch of tornado warnings right now down to the south with these storms here, with this cell. Let me go back out to Nick, because Nick, I feel like we're in this moment now with this storm where every minute or two that we don't talk to you, it feels like this storm may be starting to look a little different. What do you see right now from where you are there, Nick?
Yeah, our winds are at reach right now.
Okay, this is channel 5, guys.
We're pulling more and more moisture from that truck all the time, a lot of times. And it's really, I mean, we haven't had winds like this all day. And they're really starting to, a second ago, they were really starting to rock the truck. We're stopping here just a second just to take a look at this. But, man, this storm is really getting its act together. I mean, I think Jonathan was, whoever said that, I think Jonathan was talking about it, but the low-level jet has been interacting with these storms at the boundary, and it's just creating that magic complex that we really don't want to see right now. Back to you.
And Nick, you're in the right spot, and so we'll be checking in with you here. Because I want to go back out to Michael, by the way. We're going to bounce back and forth between Nick and Michael here for a little bit. Michael, you're also in a tornado warning here. That is going to be, let's see here, we're west of Roth again. Michael, what's happening here?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Lower files, I don't have any tornadoes confirmed right now. And again, I don't know if it's just from how many chasers are out here or what exactly is happening, but our cell phone coverage has gone to nothing. It's almost like there's no cell phone coverage out here. So we're very fortunate to be able to have the technology that we have. We can even bring you the stream. I have no radar data whatsoever, so I'm doing everything by eye right now.
Yeah, and Michael, you've got a good eye, so we will definitely be trusting all your reports there as we're watching these storms here dropping down to the southeast of Wynnewood. Okay, that track with that, it's moving down to the southeast, so that's going to continue to make its way down towards Ruff and then Hickory there between about 8:40 and 8:45. This storm continues to strengthen. You can see that spin very close to where it's right on top of Nick, by the way. So Elmore City, this is pretty close to you. Down by the community of Satterwhite, southeast of Foster. There's Nick. This storm right now is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. And eventually it's going to start moving down to the southeast. So it's Katy at 8:29, Brady at 8:41, Wynnewood there at 9 o'clock, Washita at 9:05, and Davis at 9:09. So this is the bottom shot here. That is going to be from Nick. You can see nothing on the ground, but what we can see in the mid layers of the atmosphere is that this storm is still rotating, and even down pretty close to the surface too. It's that red and that green right there. So there's Elmore City, about 2 miles southwest of Elmore City. This is moving to the east, and so Brady is going to be close. The town of Katy is going to be close for you as well. And eventually the storm is going to move over I-35 and then start to drop down to the southeast. And so then that will impact those in Delhi Sulphur and Davis. That storm still spins, by the way, very close to where Michael is. And he's going to be well east of Wynnewood. By the way, Wynnewood, you are not in a tornado warning. Hey, Jonathan, real quick, let's just address storms that are non-severe and have a very low chance of becoming severe. That will be just down south of OKC here, because there are some intense cores. These storms don't have any shear, they're not spinning, but for anyone that's in Slaughterville, down by Etowah, and going into southern Potawatomi County, I know you're in a tornado watch right now, so you have every right to be concerned about what these storms are doing as they're coming in. I just want to let you know that the environment for these storms to produce tornadoes is extremely low. So just want to give you all a heads up there from Etowah up towards Tecumseh.
And again, Fairmount Apartment.
With these storms right now as they're moving up to the north here. So just want to address those for y'all. Let's go back down to the south, because a ton of these storms that we have down in southern Oklahoma, these have a threat for becoming pretty significant, especially if you go deeper into the evening. Tornado watch until 11 o'clock. And so still watching this cell by Elmore City and Katy. That is moving to the east. That's going to make a run towards Wynnewood, eventually towards Washita. The hail core with that. Let me go back out to Nick if I can. Nick, we're still watching your storm here closely. Nick, what are you saying?
Go Nick. Yeah, so Damon, right now it seems like
Okay, Nick, by the way, your cell phone is just a little dicey there. So what it looks like from this storm, by the way, is that it may can be going through a cyclone phase. It definitely spun up enough there that we had to put a tornado warning on it. And so it goes until 8:45. Sky 5 is up in the air, by the way, looking at these storms too. But this storm continues to move to the east. And so Elmore City, you're about to get the hail side of it.
Okay, got you responding.
I know at one point the storm was dropping. Yeah, it's dropping golf balls right now. It's more for golf balls. So that's what's bringing some damage there for Elmore City. And even down towards Katy. Jonathan, it looks like the storm is cycling as it's moving to the east.
100%.
Other storms to the southeast too. What do you see from
Yeah,
here?
it has cycled. For a second there, I was like, oh, here we go. It's not looking good. I'm looking at all these clues or cue.
going. So there's a shot. There's a shot right there. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not quite like consolidated, I guess you could say,
No, but it's
as it was before. But, oh man, I'll tell you what, it's still there.
And your call will look very current too.
We'll just keep a close eye on it.
Current heading.
Yeah, wow, that looks pretty impressive right now. I can see some of the striations coming up on the underside of that, on that right side. So It definitely
And this is also
spinning.
coming in by medical alarm.
And we'll
We're
see what it
making
does.
color contact in this
That's
town.
a tornado warning on this, going to Goldberg. All right, now let's go back to L.N.C.O.W.A.F. Val's right there. Here's Goldberg. Here's Val. Circulation is just to his west. And it's going to be sliding down to the southeast. So let's go maybe a little closer here.
Okay.
And then we'll jump back to the west. The other tornado warning, we're just kind of getting all of these for you. All right, so here's Oak Grove. And right here. So we have a shear rate. A little bit of a hook.
Little bit of shear, little shear.
Not crazy though.
Probably
There it is.
what we were seeing in a shot. This thing's been spinning for the last hour or so.
Yeah.
And it goes through these organization phases where it kind of strengthens, weakens.
It's on the ground. You can see it in Val's shot. He's right there underneath it. But the tornado warning continues. So between there and Goldberg, tornado warning for you, okay?
Well, it doesn't mean this couldn't spin up again, but the echo tops and the bill cores have plummeted on this area of cluster of storms where Val is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see. Yeah. All right. So this is going to be Jeremy's storm, and he still has a lowering in there. It still has some big hail in it. All right.
it's
Here's
the strongest bill core of all this one.
this one is now because it went down.
Yeah.
So Elmore City, Nickels and Dimes, Quarters, golf balls along Highway 29, south of 29, about 2 miles southwest of Elmore City.
If we get make color contact, you can
And
down
here's
33.
Jeremy down here. Let's go back to Jeremy Carter.
Talking at 55,000 feet.
Okay. Well, let's get up there. So, okay, this is coming up. The hook isn't quite as organized as what it was. Jeremy, you have your shot, you're hot. The hook, the circulation is not quite as strong as what it was, but the storm itself is getting stronger. So the hook will probably follow, and I expect it to probably ramp back up. But your hail core now, and the bills, and the strength is coming up on this storm. Go ahead, Jeremy, as it heads off to the southeast.
Yeah, David, I'm trying to get a good solid look at the base here. Definitely the air rotation is less organized, is very less organized. And the bills basically, whenever it hits spikes, the bills pick up, and then when it weakens, it seems like the bills crack. I'm going to try to get a good look at it and get in a position where I can watch it further down the road here. I'm trying to get a back road network. But anyways, back to you.
Yeah, I see the lowering here. This is, again, on that storm. That's the one that Jeremy's on. Right over the hail core now is over Elmore City. This is the hook. This is the rain-free base. This is the updraft. That now is going to be just to the north of Satterwhite. And to me, it's getting a little, it took out strong, supercell, isolated, it weakened, and now it's coming back up right now. Let's go back to L.N.C.O.W.A.F. And you can see how we lost some of the purples and the blacks. That's the hail. That went down. Now it's coming back up. Hail developing right over Elmore City. Let's go to the bills here. Let's take a look at the storm strength. Let's see what we've done. Let's see if we're, yeah, look at that. Yeah. Definitely coming back up.
And the storm itself is definitely strengthening, which you would think would mean it would translate more into low-level circulation eventually.
Yeah. We would think. And still moving, gosh, slowly.
You know, it's 15-minute lapse. It's barely moved. That means it's just storming like crazy over Elmore City. I know that's got to be so loud, so much lightning and hail.
I mean, the rain's great, but you're getting hail now. If you're in Elmore City and you're getting some hail, send us a pic. Tell us what's going on in Elmore City. Jeremy's just to your south. He's about 5 miles south of town. And you've got it. If you don't have hail yet in Elmore City, you're going to.
Was that the hook trying to come back around, or by Foster, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah. Jeremy's in a good spot. He can sit right there all day and have a picnic. Let this thing come right in on top of him. Yeah, he's good. He's in a good spot. We'll see what it does. Okay. So the tornado warning for this has been dropped. It might come back. The way it's going, it'll probably come back. All right. Let's go back east now. And I'll talk the storm at Etowah. A little bit of a hook.
I looked at it. It's a little bit of shear with it, very weak.
Nothing crazy.
Broad rotation.
What's the lightning over here like?
Not a lot. You can see the actual intensity of that storm still keeps coming up as it moves further northeast.
Okay, and back that up. Let's see where that's going up to Tecumseh. And then it'll go on or south to Shawnee. Be close to Shawnee.
And a shower going over Blanchard.
It might, yeah. Do any of the high-risk stuff bring anything back in here this evening?
No.
It stays like south.
Days like that, yeah. It doesn't necessarily, some of the data right now doesn't have this as far north as it actually is.
Right.
Doesn't have necessarily a good handle on what's going on currently.
Yeah. All right, look at the hook now in Jeremy's storm. Let's go back south.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
Hills come up, hill sizes are coming up definitely. May have some tennis balls embedded.
hey, Justin, keep him right here. See the hook developing? Okay. Yeah. Like maybe have him, maybe a little bit north. He's got a south wind, right? Surely he does.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the hill core now. Look at the hook now developing. That's either going to be the main hook, or this might be the new hook here. We have two areas that we're watching.
Yeah, he still has a westerly wind because when it cycled earlier, the RFD blasted through. He had all western winds.
Okay. I think that's going to be changing now. That's going to be changing.
It might be changing. The westerly, he says, in lighter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's definitely coming up. Let's go to next gen.
Okay.
Just curious.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
And you can really see the hill core.
Yeah, pretty big hill core, Elmore City.
And I mean, look at that. The hill core itself is moving easterly.
Mm-hmm. It's going to Brady. From there, it's going to the Exotic Animal Park. There's Wynniewood. It's going east. Links 3. Thank you, Megan.
Shower people into it.
Yeah.
You see it right there. He shot there.
Yep. And we've done a little bit of both. The new area spin and the hail. Megan's done a good job on that, so we're just going to bring the whole thing east. So Elmore City, 845, Katy, 901, Exotic Animal Park, 946, Wynniewood, 10 o'clock, Joy, 1010, and Davis at about 1025, okay? So hail, we have golf balls, got some tennis balls in there, but now we have some golf balls. So still big hail. Big hail. That's the hook. We're trying to reform, okay?
I just got a picture of the hail in Elmore City right now. Now, this is obviously, it'll be bigger in different places, but
right.
this is like nickel and dime size hail from this particular location. But it's got to be bigger depending on, the north side of town.
Elevated storms, and so we'll have to watch that. That will miss OKC and the Norman area. Obviously, the tornadic risk is with these storms down south.
There are quite a few of them. Quite a few of them just make way down towards around Texoma there. So that's again that's coming into Potawatomi County. We are picking up a little bit of hail inside of it right now as it continues to move to the up to the northeast. So as of right now, we are working one severe thunderstorm warning right now, a couple flash flood warnings, and then we have this tornado warning that is still ongoing north of Sulphur here. Although that storm is
continues. Valcaster is right there. He's
We'll
down,
probably
can
take a
get
break
the
later,
Goldberg,
a few minutes.
and not as strong.
We don't have no tornadoes in central Oklahoma, anything north of I-40. So we're going to take a break. So something happens in Stillwater.
Let's bring Val in here. Val, what do you think? We have your shot. You're hot. And it looks like it might have weakened a little bit. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so that's the last time we talked, David. A lot has changed. The base has risen quite a bit. You can kind of see we're really having trouble finding any lower base. I'm panning the roof cam around here, but that right there, that's what's left of it. So it's high, much higher base at the moment. There's no low-level features with it. It is still a supercell. I know you always say it's rotating and it will continue to rotate for a long time, and I know that's going on in the mid-levels, but there is not much going on in the low levels. So that's a really good thing for the people that live around here, David. Back to you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a spinner for sure the last hour and a half or so, but we'll see what it does. It's still in an environment that can bruise the tornado. We all know that. Let's go back to Links 1. That shot's from Val and Amy. And I want to point out we have severe weather ongoing in northeast Oklahoma, a few severe storms up near Bartlesville, east of Bartlesville, and up around Grand Lake, Bonita, Pryor, some rain, some general thunderstorms there, nothing crazy. And the only game in town right now is down to our south, in our southern viewing area here. Tornado warning from that storm for Jeremy's storm. We dropped that, but it's still spinning. But again, Jeremy's right underneath it, and it's a little bit what we call elevated. And so here's the deal. So the hail will continue, and it's crossing 74. So Jeremy's there looking at it. We'll see if it reorganizes and develops a bigger hook and tries to spin a little bit more. Right? It's interesting where that is.
Yeah, the whole thing is like trying to become organized, it's just not localizing at all.
No.
There's a shower that we were talking about, Tatum's, it's being pulled up into it.
Yep.
But right now, I mean, it's not in crazy mode.
No.
Storm strength is there, the updraft is strong. It's just
It's a hail, wind, and rain producer right now. So that's all good. Who shots? Man, Jeremy shot. Look how clean and why is it so bright? That looks amazing.
It's in the middle of the day.
Let's go back to Jeremy shot.
Down there in Hennepin.
I don't know. Let's go back to, hey, Jeremy, can you hear me?
Static 11.
Yes, I can, David.
Your camera shot looks great. Looks like daylight. What you did to your camera? It's almost dark out there.
All I did was turn it on. You see how low this space
Good
is?
answer.
David? Well, that's the only answer. This storm popped up to the south of this thing, and it almost looks like it's trying to get a really nice low base on it. And so I'm trying to get in a position that if this manages to take over and become an area of circulation, then I'll get a good view of it. It kind of caught me a little bit of hopscotch. So I'm going to have to move quite a bit, just getting a good proximity to it to continue getting with it. Back to you.
Okay, all right, yeah. Shot looks very, very clean, looks good. And this thing had a tornado warning on it. It ramped up, it was spinning, and then it kind of came down a little bit. Right now it's severe, but it certainly still has a mesocyclone in it, and it is certainly still spinning. All right, let's go back to L.N.C.O.W.A.F. And, okay, so here's Jeremy. He's coming in Hennepin, and there's your inflow notch with that. So, Megan, let's do this. Let's turn on shear rate. See what it looks like on that. Yeah, it's coming up a little bit. Okay, just to his north. That's what he's looking at. And that's his shot right there. That's just to his northeast. That is that. Right there is that. That's, here he is looking northeast. He's driving east, looking northeast, okay? So we have that now just north of Hennepin. We'll see what it does. Looks like it's coming up some. There's your inflow notch. And just look at the storm itself. That's taking on more of that V-shape, right? So plenty of what we call difluence. From the updraft back here, we have jet stream winds overhead. Shear rates coming up now south of Katy, north of Hennepin.
Get me to put a track on this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and that's coming up. It's definitely coming up. We'll do Hennepin at 846, Davis 941, Turner Falls 943. Have you guys ever been there? I've been there. I've been in the parking lot.
Nope.
As
The
far as they let
Popa.
me in the place. What now?
Sulfur,
I've always wanted to.
yeah,
Super
the
nice.
sulfur
I've been there. I
at
just haven't.
1020.
Yeah. Well, they got hit by the tornado back in 2024.
Casino, Spawn,
It's a horrible night.
1020.
From David.
Lake, Orbuckle, 1011.
Yeah, I see Val shot here. Val's to the east. Let's go back to Val. I don't think that's anything. But again, this is not tornado warning. That's Jeremy's storm there. This is Val shot. Val, if it was a tornado or a funnel, you would have said something. But it looks a little scary hanging down. What do you think?
Yeah, David, we're just sitting there trying to figure that out. Exactly what is that? Because there's a little bit of rotation in that. And what that's under, I told you earlier that the base has risen quite a bit. Well, that is still under the mezzo. That's under the risen base. So there's definitely still rotation going on up there. That's just basically a ragged looking stuff. There is a little bit of rotation in it, but it's not very strong. It's nothing that I would say, is dangerous or anything like that. But that just goes to show you there's still rotation going on. If you look real close, you can see a little circular pattern there too. So back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job. All right. So let's jump back, and we do have another severe storm now. The storm we were talking about in Potawatomi County. Let's go back to that. And we'll do a storm track on this. It's not crazy severe. It has a little bit of weak mid-level rotation with it right now. It's pretty far north of the boundary, but the winds are not northerly here, a little more easterly. So you need to watch this. It's going to Brooksville. It's going to Tecumseh. It's going to Earlsboro, and then from there over to Little and Seminole. And your storm track looks like this. And by the way, here's Norman. I want to point out a little shower southwest of Norman. Okay, this is all down across to our south, into our southeast. We're not going to get this in the metro as far as Oklahoma City. I know there's thousands of people visiting, and we're going to be good. By the way,
Tom Pastrano's heading east on 9.
Okay.
With that storm.
Yeah, good. Let's get him east. We'll see what it does. But Tecumseh 855, Seminole 917. It's going to barely miss Shawnee, which is surprising, right? Little 925, Craig 937, Cromwell 945, and William Payton 948, Boley 954, and Okima at 1007, Welty at 1013. All right, so not tornadic, very, very mid-level rotation kind of stuff, and nothing crazy out of this at all as it makes its way to the northeast. What about the hail in here? Let's go back to links 1. And, oh, there you go. We'll stay with that. That's fine. Okay. Wow, golly, that's big hail.
Yeah, the hill core
Yeah.
is pretty big, expansive too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Hit the speed with more mark.
It just doesn't see. So this is right here, what's that little hook? And there's spin in the atmosphere, so you get shear. Nothing crazy, little kind of a backward sea hook, but that's a little hook. Tiny storm going to Bradley, going to L.N.C.O.W.A.F. And then the storm down here, the Hennepin, the Katy storm, we're calling it, a little bit of a hook there. That's the one that Jeremy's on. Very sheer with this. It's broad. Between Hennepin and Katy, it's all stretched out, which is a good sign. Okay, so what about the stuff to our east now? The warning's over here.
yeah, everything is now south
Okay.
and east, and so I mean multiple tornado warnings going on down near Reagan, down to Hopewell.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everything moving off again to the southeast. So tornado warnings continue to our southeast. All right, so one more time for our viewing area. Right now, no tornado warnings in effect. The storm is severe in Macomb, and a storm down near Wynnewood. Zoom back into that one more time.
The rotation is strengthening.
Yeah, it is.
With that, Jeremy's right there watching.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up. We got to watch this. Okay, it's a little bit stronger. It's going to Hoover, and then from there down towards Davis. Okay, but we're gonna keep watching that, folks. We're gonna take a little bit of a break. There's no more tornado warnings in effect. That storm is the strongest. It is still spinning, but it's not crazy spinning right now. So we're doing okay. But we're gonna keep doing cut-ins. Obviously, we're gonna take a few minutes to take a break. We'll be back. It's News 9. Keep you advised.
Airports are empty. So Stephanie Harris is our nexus right now.
Sting? I mean, we've got a desperate buyer and a desperate seller to work.
No, you have no clue with that.
I have to do some repair on one of my servers, and we've been having trouble with some of the programs and stuff. So we're gonna watch a little bit of Channel 5. And we're gonna, here we go, let me fix the camera. We're gonna watch a little bit of Channel 5 for a while I work on this computer. It's gonna take a little while. Right now, we don't have any severe weather in central, no central Oklahoma. It's all to the east and southeast. And northeast is out of the area. So we're gonna watch it right here. I think this is not live. This is on Roku. I don't know why this thing's switching like that. Well, see if I can fix this problem now. I didn't sleep last night too well. I didn't go to bed till about 1:30 and got woken up at 5 a.m. I left the window open to get to the nice and get fresh air and stuff on me. And where I live, it has road that's 45 miles per hour. It had a state trooper or a highway patrol flying down the road with the sirens on. They had a rumble pack, and that sucker, I mean, it was loud. Something else. Well, not the radio. But we're gonna be doing some small stuff in here, you know, cleaning up a little bit in here. And some reason once I hooked the monitor, the big monitor, to the server, well, my app quit working. I don't know what, but it quit. So I'm gonna try to reload the software back on it, the radar backup to back up. I have a backup drive that I'll just plug in. It's external, and we're gonna probably fix it. So that's what we'll be doing. We're gonna be working on probably the other stereo tomorrow. Gonna finish cleaning that up, moving stuff around, and hanging up monitors and TVs and the other stereo. And we're gonna transfer the screen behind me over there. Then we're gonna have a green screen TV put up, and we're gonna probably take these two computers right here I'm at right now over there for just wear the server thing, and I can do stuff at home on these two other ones maybe. I am gonna bring a laptop over there, so I'll have these two servers, a laptop, and a couple of other servers over there. So that'll be 4 computers, and that should do the job. So here's 2, and I got 1 big server with 32 gigs. We need to do some work on that. It's been having trouble on the heat too, so I can bring a box fan or something over there. We're gonna also run the air conditioner too, so we can set it for a certain temperature. Hopefully, kick it off and on. And we got to fix all the leaks and stuff in that, you know, that little room. Then the kitchen, the bathroom, hallway area. We're gonna pretty much we're gonna have to do some work in there. We're gonna work on the water, get some water in there if we're gonna start cleaning that place. We need to do something about the floor. The floor is pretty much bare wood. The linoleum is all tore up. The floor, certain sections has to be replaced, but it's still got some that needs to be replaced. A couple of soft spots right there. Replace. Okay, we're gonna have to end this TV up there because we can't have no actual TV shows playing because copyright. And but you know, it's over the air. It's by antenna, so I don't know what's the big deal is. But YouTube has been kind of picky if you're recording stuff like TV shows over the antenna. It's weird. You got a VCR. You was back in the day. You was able to record stuff on a VCR through antenna. That shoots through the effect. Okay, see, this is gonna be the new layout. We're gonna be like this next storm tomorrow. We're gonna be running like this. During the storm, we're gonna have 1 camera up live. My live behind the scenes, you have a camera like this pointing at me the whole time I'm doing stuff. I might go if it gets in Stillwater area. I'll go out and track it in town and do reports and maybe do some storm spotting in person. Probably live. I have to set up a live feed on my phone. We can do live that way. But then I like to have recording some radar data too. I want to, this is what these are. These little videos right here is like video logs, slash documentaries, slash behind the scenes. that's why I make these videos.
Keep looking at this storm down in south of Katy.
Document these storms.
Okay, here's the latest with this cell right here. Brooksville.
I used to go out and chase and track storms,
This right here gives you all. This
but
the meteorology of the storm.
became expensive, insurance, some of my health problems. Yeah, so I don't do that much anymore. I retired from all that. Still do volunteer work. These shirts and hats and stuff. This is the newest shirt I got on now, but we've been rebranded so many times. This is when we was live North Central Oklahoma weather. The original channel just been rebranded, and this is the secondary channel. So I have like 4 or 5 channels, but we're gonna have a weather center like this. We'll be doing TikTok, Facebook Live. It's coming up soon. I just have to get the phones and stuff, software on it. I need a phone. I got so you can probably see me on ADM Boy CGS on TikTok. Probably late this spring, early fall maybe. And you might see me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. Should be but I'll be changing my TikTok name to whatever weather channel. I'll probably go back to Live North Central Oklahoma. So these J&J's logos and stuff, that'd be like the name of the actual studio branding. But we have a Live North Central Oklahoma weather center channel. And we're gonna have live cams and stuff. See, it worked fine right here. It works fine, but nothing's showing up. That's a problem. I'm having trouble with the data. I'm not getting data. So I don't know what to do with that. We're gonna have to figure this out. I might have to format this computer. Do my best to get all my data off of here and just format the whole system. Or put another drive in there. We're not doing too good with this computer lately. It's just been sluggish, and I don't know. The one to the right, the monitor to the right of my hand right now, that computer right there, that server, sometimes overheats, so I've got a box fan blowing into the thing. I think it needs some thermal paste, because I put extra fans in there for cooling. So, well, run it for 24 hours or so. 24 hours, 48 hours, it'll just freeze up. And you can't access any of you can't. You can move your mouse around, but you can't click on nothing and close nothing. You can't do nothing. So I don't know. What we're gonna do is probably format it and put Linux on it. Get rid of Windows. I think it should be better. That would be not a fun place doing that, but so right now the data is not showing up on this radar.
This storm is still showing spin. Hey, where is this in the reflectivity? Okay, so there it is, down by Hennepin. So
stop. It wasn't working right today when I first started the live.
Still continue to be significant here. I mean, bigger than
So I'm glad we went into tracking mode. So I had it in the radar HD tracker. So we was able to track and stuff. That's what I'm on right now down there. Like I said, all these storms are pretty much clearing the area. We are good on the tornado. Tornado threat has pretty much completely, went away pretty much. We're just gonna be doing small stuff around the office and maybe
Typically, when you have northerly winds, that really lowers the tornado risk. So
you know, pop in once in a while and check on the weather. I'll turn the TV back on later, but we don't want nothing playing in the background because we don't want to have any problem with YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's been kind of strict on a lot of stuff lately. Even my music that comes about, you know, you have to pay for them to download in this editing software, but I guess it's not yours to use on YouTube, I guess. But you pay to download that, you know, the songs and stuff. You have to I have a pay for this service on this app that I use to edit my stuff. But anyhow, we're not going to have any background music or like that on some of these videos right here. We might do another severe weather risk video forecast in the morning for tomorrow. Then we should get a break from severe weather, and hopefully I can get much of stuff done that needs to be done. I am so behind on getting stuff, and it's, you know, storm season, so that's not able to transaction and do stuff the way I want it. I'm thinking about over there at the new studio, you can probably do a two-tone. It'll be full screen on the top part and maybe white on the bottom part. We do have projector. We're gonna have a projector in the big area. It's gonna be like a lounge. Then we're gonna use the kitchen for, like, you know, get-togethers, you know, barbecues and stuff like that. We have a table and some chairs. We got a stove, we got a refrigerator, we got a microwave, we got everything we need in it for the kitchen.
At least this storm here. Now, can something change? Absolutely. They could flare up. The circulation with the Hoover storm.
The data's still not working on here.
Mic on it. Jason's right there. It has a little hook, a little inflow. Decent hail core. I don't see anything that's imminent tornado here. And for circulation, I give it a 1, 1.5 out of 5. I wouldn't go 0.
So if I keep everything on this side, if I get rid of green screen and you use the green screen for certain things like making a forecast or something, then I'll be good.
The southeast towards Kern Falls, Sulphur, and Davis, across parts of
I'll be good. This room right here, I can keep computers in here and leave the TVs on the wall like this. Just put me a little chair or something where I can get back. And if I stay here, I can go live and have a place to just chill through the weather, because we have long nights.
Winds there are,
you know, if I
down low and
kind of tracking them on radar.
The south wind there versus the north wind in Shawnee, so the little surface boundary there. Maybe
I'm planning to stay in Payne County / Stillwater area this year.
But it's very, very.
Ain't gonna, not planning to do any long distance driving or any long distance tracking or nothing like that. Just local. So where I'm at, I'm southeast of Stillwater. So I'll be like, it'd be like Yale, L.N.C.O.W.A.F, Cleveland, stuff, you know, north, east of me, and stuff south of me. It'd be Perkins and Tryon, Niagara, and
maybe some really big
Chandler.
There's a storm impact. I bet you there's some 1.5, maybe 2 inch.
Maybe Cushion. I can do Cushion because that's, you know, I can watch Cushion. And yeah,
I like the downward trend. That's always good news.
L.N.C.O.W.A.F.
I'm right there with
I
you,
think
buddy.
L.N.C.O.W.A.F. already. Maybe Pawnee.
Trends that we would like to see.
Because no one that comes to here hits either L.N.C.O.W.A.F. or Pawnee or Yale and parts of Ripley and Ingalls. Actually, I'm like Ingalls and Ripley area, Meehan area.
So once you see the tops of the storm begin to dropped.
So
Last check was about 35,000 feet. Now it's down to about 20, almost 30,000 feet. Typically, you're going to see your hail sizes begin to come down a bit as well. And so it's only been warned for quarters and 60s. So we call this basically borderline severe storm. But it will be noisy on this Saturday night for those that are making their way across Potawatomi County and going into Seminole. So right now it's almost 9 o'clock.
I got a new email address. It's JJ JANDJ Studio
Four-day severe weather threat. We certainly have the ingredients for severe weather for tomorrow afternoon.
at Gmail.
There may not be a ton of storms.
But I don't know exactly that's it. I have to look at it. I just made one.
Those days that we call, if a storm can develop, then
and I'm gonna probably start putting it on the description. You can email me stuff, email me pictures. If you want me share them out, pictures and videos of storms and storm damage and clouds, and you know, just send me anything that's weather related, and I can share it out, and I will credit you. Just make sure you put your name and where you're from.
But there's still a tornado threat out there for tomorrow that we're going to have to watch. Right now, our tornado index.
But yeah, we have a lot to do this year. Next year, so hopefully we should be pretty much organized and stuff. I like to get a 3D printer and start doing my own merch and stuff. And we have an idea of making some more start making t-shirts and stuff with own branding on it. I think you still could buy a shirt I'm wearing right now on T-String. What's the name of that place?
Actually, let me go out to Nick real quick.
You can buy cups, keychains, watches. You can buy a little bit of anything from them. Thermoses, face masks, backpacks, t-shirts, sweatpants, socks. You can buy almost anything from the place. They put your logo on and your pictures, your design on anything. And my new design probably is right here. That's on the monitor above me.
Okay, and let me go out to Michael right now, Storm Command. Michael, watching the storm coming up towards you.
In the back would be the tornado, and it would say storm spotter, chaser.
Actually, just now making it through Davis, we had a train that was stopped. Go left right here. Go left right there. Yep. So yeah, we had a train that had, like, it was crazy how backed up the traffic was, but we've been having some massive lightning bolts here in and around the Davis area. It does look like.
See, now I'll close the stupid app. Now it won't open. The radar won't open at all, and while ago it was opening but not showing any data. So we're gonna have to fiddle with this for the next hour or so, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. Like I said, I'm gonna probably have to bring up the hard drive, backup hard drive, that I have all the software and all my designs and pictures on, and install it, not install it, but transfer it over, then reinstall.
But I don't anticipate that we're going to have any tornado warnings popping up here, at least in the next couple of minutes here. These storms, from a reflectivity standpoint, you know, they may look like.
How do we start the system? I'm gonna do right now how to restart it and let it do the update and stuff, and see if that fixes the problem. But more likely I got something wrong with the app itself, and I'm gonna step away for a little while. Take a little break, maybe get another drink, something to snack on or something, and I'll probably be back. I'm gonna just let it do this update. Oh, you can see quite a bit of lighting on that one. Took a break from TV for a minute. Probably what I do, I'll probably take a little break. It's 63. 99% humidity. Pressure's 28.79. winds from east at 0 to 2. Wait, max is 63.
450, go ahead.
Oh, it feels like 63.
I've relocated our stop to Coil.
Don't have my glasses. I have to run glasses.
Have you come complete? Thank you, guys.
Come on, Lord. Boy, that's a long update. Should be loading. We got that's much to do. We got a couple of hours, couple of areas to watch. You'll be watching. Don't copyright me. There's some TV shows on. It's over the air on TV. It's recording the VCR action. Over the air VCR
whether he would go on True Social. He wrote, it was quite an evening. DC law enforcement and Secret Service acted quickly and bravely as if the shooting was apprehended. He recommended that the show go on, but he said that would be entirely guided by law enforcement. Some members of our staff, including L.N.C.O.W.A.F, as well as other members of the press, waited there in that ballroom. Ultimately, though, Secret Service said it is not safe. They got the president back to the White House, where the president said that he would be giving a press conference in 30 minutes. That was a True Social he posted a little bit ago. So you can see right there the press briefing podium. We are waiting to hear from the president. Members of his staff are there. I can see them in the press briefing podium, press briefing room, trying to put the presidential seal on the podium, which signifies that the president is going to speak. I also want to point out, in that press briefing room right there, our own DJ going right from the White House Correspondents' Center to the front row there at the press briefing room to talk to the president about what happened tonight. That's where we are right now. We are waiting to hear from the president. We have reporting from our own L.N.C.O.W.A.F and Richard Escobedo that one of the rounds that were fired actually hit a Secret Service agent in his bulletproof vest. We are told the agent is expected to be okay, but this was a significant and scary event tonight at the Washington Hilton, where the president was set to address reporters tonight in the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Olivia, you were there, and I also want to bring in correspondent Natalie Brand. She was also at the dinner tonight. So what did you see from your perspective?
I
was seated at a table right next to Olivia. So you were in the back, right next to the door where these gunshots could be heard. Boom, boom, boom. At first, like Olivia said, it didn't sound like a gunshot, maybe perhaps a platter crashing to the floor, plates crashing. My colleague sitting next to me, Torian Small, realized right away what this was, the gravity of the situation. He threw us basically to the floor. We all crawled under tables, colleagues huddled together, huddled, hugging, praying that we would all be safe. And thankfully, we were inside that room. Then there was some confusion and chaos. some people saying that we should evacuate, others that we should stay. We ended up leaving. This may have had to do with the president wanting the show to go on, but then noting that it was up to his Secret Service to assess the situation. Obviously, thousands of people were there. We all went through security. You know, our purses were checked. We went through the bags like you would at a major event or a campaign rally.
We are
the difference is
clear in
there
our
was
area.
so many people, the volume of people. You know, it felt like it didn't take too terribly long to get through security, and obviously, given what's happened, you know, this type of situation sadly was on our minds that this could be a possibility. Thankfully, we made it out.
Okay, back.
Protesters outside the building as you were going inside?
Now, there was a small group of protesters, maybe a dozen or so. In past years, it seemed like the demonstrations have been larger, so it wasn't completely out of the ordinary.
Winds from the north-northeast at 0 to 10.
Obviously, we sensed that security would be extremely tight. There would be a perimeter around the hotel property, given that the president was going to be in attendance tonight.
Well, senior White House correspondent Lee Jang is president of the White House Correspondents Association and joins us on the phone.
I think good.
Leisha, you were at the podium at one point. You were in the room. Talk about what you saw.
I was in the room sitting at the head table with President Trump. We were having dinner conversation when all of a sudden we saw Secret Service agents
By the time it's right on there,
table.
I'll have to reset that later.
To get down.
That's it for July 20,
I immediately went down, as did President Trump and the First Lady, and all of our board
I'll set that later.
nobody knew anything about what was happening.
Crazy.
And we were escorted off the stage, and there was a long period of time when nobody knew anything. Obviously now we have the basic information of what happened, and we are waiting for President Trump.
Currently 81 in this room. It's all this equipment. It's a little hot in here, guys. Apologize, I step away sometimes. Yeah, I got the window open just now. Pull it down.
Talking about the sheer amount of people that were gathered. It's 2,600 people. It was not only the president and first lady, but
Ford, counting for traffic.
was there along with the vice president. So this is a high-profile room, and we just want to know more about what unfolded tonight.
The president indicated on his Truth social page that he wanted this event to continue after this. You had indicated that as well. What transpired in terms of why it did not continue?
Well, obviously, when something like this happens, Secret Service is immediately in action and securing the entire area and looking for potential.
This is crazy stuff, man. I can never ever remember this many attempts.
And it was their decision that the best thing was to
let me know in the comments.
for security reasons.
It's crazy.
And so I did come to the White House with President Trump.
Thunderstorm warning in the yellow,
We are waiting for
flash flood warning in the green,
Leisha, when you went back up to the podium to say that the
flood warning in the dark green.
you were obviously very emotional, very shaken. Talk about what was going through your mind at that moment.
Well, what was going through my mind is my 7-year-old daughter was there, my husband was there, my parents were there.
There we go.
And
Back up, yeah.
It's a huge reality check. And I think
one thing about this system,
where we all came together to celebrate
it's server.
the freedoms in the First
You just
Amendment.
like this hard drive
We
in
also
there.
have to think about how fragile they are in this country because, shootings and would-be shootings happen every day. And it doesn't matter if it's, the White House Correspondents' Center or anywhere else in this country. Nobody should have
guys for just listening to the news. I'll be doing this for a while. It's going to take a while to do everything I need to do.
And that is not what this country is about.
County on unit, stand by for reckless driver information.
I was just pretty rattled.
All units currently parked at the Dollar General in Glencoe. RP advised there's a gray Dodge sedan that when they were traveling northbound on Highway 108, it pulled out in front of her off of Yost, nearly cut her off and ran stop sign. RP advised that it is now currently parked at the Dollar General in Glencoe.
This dinner is all about acknowledging how vital the First Amendment is to our democracy. So every year, the Correspondents Association comes together to do that and honor award winners and scholarship recipients who want to be reporters like us. It's also a chance for the press and the president to get together in a different context and recognize the important relationship, despite how complicated it might be. So that's what we were doing. And unfortunately, it was traumatic event unfolded, and thank goodness everybody is safe. And that's the most important thing out of all of this.
Let's talk a little bit, Lisa, about the types of security concerns leading up to an event like this where you have the president, the vice president, so many high-profile dignitaries in the room all together at one time.
Well, this is like any other event that the President of the United States attends. Obviously, weeks go into preparing, into making sure that it is going to be a secure area, and there is heavy security to even get into the perimeter of the building, which is why we, are still eager to learn more information about how this security incident happened. But anywhere you go near the hotel for this event, there are Secret Service agents, there are law enforcement agents. It is heavily filled with people who are there to protect not only the president but everyone else who's there. So I will say it was very quick when we heard alerts to that something was wrong. We saw just an entire flood of Secret Service agents ushering us out. I actually have to prepare for this press conference now, but I will check in with you later.
Prepare. We have Matt Gutman on the line with us now to talk a little bit about what you saw, Matt.
Yes.
Outside or inside?
Inside. Well, inside, but outside the ballroom.
Okay, so we're going to get to him in a second, but CBS News Homeland Security correspondent L.N.C.O.W.A.F was also at the dinner and has some new information for us right now.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
I can.
So what we know right now is that the suspect has been transported to Howard Hospital in Washington, D.C. That the suspect had both a shotgun and a handgun on his person when he opened fire, and we're told by law enforcement sources that the suspect had approached the security perimeter for the event. So for those who don't know, there are magnetometers that line the basement of the Washington Hilton ballroom. Everyone has to go through security to get into the event. They have to be magged. Oftentimes they're hand-wanded. We're told that the suspect was approaching where that security perimeter was set up when he opened fire on a U.S. Secret Service agent, striking that agent at least once. We are told that agent took at least one round, but will survive, is doing okay, was wearing, of course, a bulletproof vest. We're told in total there were around 5 to 8 shots fired. And again, both that agent and the suspect who is now in custody have been transported to different area hospitals in Washington, D.C. What I can tell you is that we heard approximately 5 or 6 gunshots from where we were seated inside the theater. They seemed to be coming almost from directly outside, and we were near the exit. When we heard that, Secret Service immediately directing us to get down, get down. I was seated next to our national security contributor, Sam Vinograd, who of course has training. We immediately went underneath our tables where we were covered there. But it was a flurry of gunfire. It was not as if we heard shots and then more shots later. We're told there were 5 to 8 gunshots in succession, and the threat was immediately neutralized. And again, both the Secret Service agents who neutralized the threat and the suspect transported to area hospitals. The only person we are told suffering critical injuries right now is the gunman.
You mentioned Sam Vinograd, and actually that's our CBS News national security contributor who is joining us now herself. Sam, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
Okay, tell us what you saw.
Well, having been seated next to Nicole and other colleagues, we heard a succession of shots fired and quickly got under the table. From that point, there was certainly a lot of movement as individuals were trying to get to safety, and I will say that protective details leapt into action instantaneously. We heard and saw U.S. Secret Service and other protective details immediately shield their protectees, cabinet officials, the president and vice president, and very quickly move them to safety. We stayed under the table for several minutes to ensure that the environment around us was secure enough to depart, and then from there moved outside of the ballroom. Very quickly after that, the U.S. Secret Service and several other law enforcement agencies present on the site, which is unsurprising based on the scale and scope of this event, and the number of not just U.S. dignitaries present, but also foreign officials present, French ambassador, Belgian ambassador, the list goes on. They started clearing areas of the ballroom lobby and escorting individuals out of the exit. So clearly, the threat response measures were activated quite efficiently. The question, of course, is why the threat detection measures and the physical security on site allow this individual to get up to the magnetometers. Typically, security planning for an event like this would have been months in the making, and there should have been a multi-layered security apparatus in place, multiple checkpoints to ensure that no individual who wasn't authorized to be on site was there, that no individual with a weapon or weapons could get close enough. Now, I will just say, we don't know this individual was someone who came up off the street, an individual who was staying at the hotel, for example, or someone who did have an invitation to the event. That will all become more readily available in the hours ahead.
And those are the questions that they're going to have to answer. How did this happen? You talked about the immediate response within seconds, but what lapse was there that allowed this person to get as close as he or she did? But right now, we're going to go to CBS News Chief Correspondent Matt Gutman joining us now. You were there as well, Matt.
Clarissa, I was about 3 tables up from the dais, and a first hour only warning was the clattering of plates. We heard platters fall. We saw people behind us in sort of a wave begin to duck and take cover beneath tables. And then my table, everybody ducked as well. We saw the president suddenly surrounded by Secret Service, and within a second, he was gone. We just couldn't physically see him anymore. I began to maneuver towards the center hallway, or the center aisle, where there was Secret Service, DHS, running towards the dais, trying to clear the room, and then one by one, Clarissa, you saw the VIPs in the room begin to be bundled off. We saw Pete Hegseth. We saw RFK Jr. right next to us, his wife Cheryl Hines. Stephen Miller, one by one, they were bundled off, they were sort of carried and taken out of the room, and very quickly the room was cleared of these cabinet members. I think one of the last ones to be taken out was Scott Bessent. I followed some of the officers as they were running out of the room, yelling, "Police, police," trying to part through the crowd, go through the doorways, and then I saw that I believe they had taken the president, who was near the press corps, in an elevator, locking his son downstairs. And then I saw a couple of those officers that I'd been following run out with the medical bag and run up to the lobby of the hotel, where we believe they were trying to render first aid. Outside, The president was kept downstairs for a period of time because when I got outside, I was able to see the presidential beast, those massively armored Cadillacs, still parked outside. As a short time later that the president was taken out, obviously at the White House now and safe. You know, it is incredibly rare for something like this to happen, an attempt on the president, not so much this president, the third attempt, but how public it was in front of essentially almost every reporter in Washington and people from around the world is incredibly rare. So public, so visible, so conspicuous. And again, you've been talking about this so far. The questions: how did someone with any sort of weapon manage to get in? Where was the security? And I think what a lot of people don't understand at home, it was my first time here, how crowded that room is. You are shoulder to shoulder, cheek to jowl with all these people. There must be 1,500 people in that room. So to maintain security and to keep it has to be an incredibly difficult task. And still, you expect that there is reason to believe that every precaution will be taken. We hope that that is the case. This investigation is going to be very key. I'm sure it's going to be very thorough because there are many questions to be answered. And going forward, and we'll talk to Nancy Cordes about this as well, one wonders about how often the president will be allowed out in public. How will he address people? What will security look like going forward? These are massive questions after tonight. Again, I cannot imagine a more public forum for an attempted assassination to take place. It is reminiscent of obviously Butler, but also the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. back in 1968. Clarissa.
Weezer talked about her emotions tonight. What was going through your mind when all of this was transpiring, Matt?
I mean, I'm a journalist. I've covered war for the better part of 25 years, conflict, disaster. So I was immediately in reporter mode, and I know that many of my colleagues were in the same mode. As soon as I could get the phone out of my pocket, I got it out, and I began filming. I sort of began an army crawl towards that center aisle to get a better vantage point of the security forces coming in, trying to protect the president, then bundle him off. And as soon as I looked over to the dais, they were gone. I mean, it was incredible how quickly they protected him, got him out once they realized what was going on. But I think for many of us in the room, it was the instinct of being a reporter that took precedence. You know, I wasn't so much worried about my safety, but trying to figure out what was happening in the room. And I think one of the things that was so disorienting for us, Clarissa, for the people in the front of the room, is that we heard nothing. There was no gunfire. We didn't hear a shotgun. We didn't hear 5 shots or 4 shots or 8 or however many there were. The first sign that something had happened were plates clattering and people begin ducking, like a wave that you see at a sports stadium. Just a wave of people starting to go under the tables.
As we talk about the questions that need to be answered and asked, one of the things is we don't even know yet if this gunman was in fact targeting the president. There's been a lot of hatred towards press, so we don't know if the person was there to hurt the press there or the president. Right now, we're not sure yet.
No, it is unclear what the target was, but I mean, this was a dinner in which it's the first time that the president has been at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in over a decade. It was very clear that he was going to be there. There were protesters outside. They had both correspondents and security personnel as we were going in. This is all part of the free press, and this is what this dinner did, is celebrating the free press. But you're right, we don't know the circumstances yet, and I'm sure all of that is going to be thoroughly investigated, at least we hope. Listen.
We are waiting for the president to go up to the podium. That's a live look right there as we wait for the president's arrival. We're going to turn to Chief White House Correspondent Nancy Cordes, who was also at the dinner. Nancy.
It's so great to be with you. Yes, you know, I can't stress enough, as Matt said, that in the early moments, those of us who were at the front of the room had not heard any gunshots outside. And the first thing we saw were men in a suit and tie running towards the front of the room. And, you know, it went through my mind for a moment, why are those waiters running? Until I realized that they actually had guns in their hands, and that's when everyone dove under the tables. I was seated right next to one of the president's longtime advisors, Dan Savino, and his wife, and it was fascinating to see after a few moments as we all huddled under those tables, the Secret Service start to come and find the individuals that they protect and whisk them out of the room. And it was really quick thinking on Matt's part to actually follow them and go out of the room, because for the rest of us, we ended up being kind of barricaded in there for the better part of an hour. And what was fascinating was that talking to officials in the room, talking to folks who were hearing from the White House Correspondents Association, the president was still there for about an hour. He was not taken out of the Washington building and whisked back to the White House. He was sheltering in place, just like we were, in a more secure area. We couldn't get to that area. But we were told repeatedly that he wanted to come back out and speak to the members of the press, that he wanted not necessarily to go on with business as usual, but he wanted to come and address us and tell us that he was fine, and to argue that he wasn't going to be cowed by what was happening. And eventually, the Secret Service overruled that, told him that he needed to come back to the White House, and that's where he is right now, getting ready to give this briefing. And there we see him now at the podium.
The president just stepped up to the podium, so we're going to listen in right now.
Incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement, and this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press, and in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way a very beautiful thing to see a man charge a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms, a tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent, and we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement. The law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police, and we just spoke with the mayor, and when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. When you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to we have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Conservatives, Liberals, and Progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance was here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement, Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California. And he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job with such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say, I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words. And we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady for, that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to say tonight, I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a little shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward the President just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident, given the conduct. But as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges around the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here. And I obviously need the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage. And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you. What we've done.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. We saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspired them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw great Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please note what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty because we have leadership here with the President, the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement at the FBI or Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started. And we're going to ensure or anyone else that was responsible, we will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General, Homeland Secretary Mullen, thank you for your partnership with law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chair. Madam Chair, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule it. It's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job, please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, could you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise, and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. It hadn't reached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly, other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, it's a bad noise. And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held that. We were there, we held that right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there's protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able, and I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made. And I said, it's all to say, but I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Peter. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink indoor?
Well, then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was quick. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know, I'm not going to be... I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on that suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people, they're crazy. They're crazy, and, you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting, maybe a big table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Any motivations from this?
Well, you never know. No, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody. They're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going overtime, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California, and they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Katie.
Did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No. I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detainees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark, when you would agree with that, I think, I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more.
Is there any indication of this shooting could have been linked to in Iran?
I don't think so.
We'll go ahead and end this live.
We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it. And, we're going to know a lot. Please.
No severe weather at this time. Gonna do a bit of shower.
Some of us who have covered Butler experienced another
Over here by
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Henry.
You had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening?
Well, I can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job. In my opinion, a much better job than Butler had 1 week spot. that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there, but even Butler, we had a sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards.
Brigham, Salisbury, Big Valley,
he was down. And he didn't know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. He aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people were badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so. In a sense, it was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know. They should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly. And he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. He hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't open, we could have probably done it tonight. But I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
I think it's just that's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. And they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know. He's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try to get him with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
I'm concerned about everything. Look, I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%, but if you take presidents, it's 5.8%, and about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. We see what's happening. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year. And we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
There's been so much political violence, not just named yourself, but in other members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just a cost of doing business? Yeah. Do politics in America anymore?
Yeah. What else about it? That's right. We're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America, it's some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
At this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much. If I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it at my first store, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be...
Here's the traffic. I apologize, guys.
We're given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others. And we said, we have to take a little journey. I seem to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. It wasn't supposed to happen during my term. It wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year. And I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. We're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers, second round. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, you know, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Did you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it's a change?
I like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times, and she said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight, we heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And, again, we had some very great people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. You want to say something? Okay.
People across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you and I, all of us, are alive today. What are the messages that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can you take from there on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job that's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? They can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts, so it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. It was like a blur on tape. He was moving. They turned. It was very impressive the way they got him. Because a lot of people would be looking and saying, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through. But they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing. What do we do? But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. If you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
You've been watching President Donald Trump in an extraordinary late-night, Saturday night press conference, appearing with two members of his cabinet in a tuxedo, because it's a night that began in honor and celebration of the First Amendment and the Constitution, and ended, as too many nights in America these days, end with a conversation about political violence. We don't know the motive of the gunman at this hour, but we do know a man charged a security checkpoint at the Hilton, where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was taking place. You see the video on your screen. And he was charging toward a room full of journalists, politicians, and the President of the United States. Inside that room, because this has become so common in America, you have people that are multiple time victims of political violence. Erica Kirk was in the room. People saw her in tears. Steve Scalise was a table away from me. That's the reason I'm wearing a tuxedo here as well. He was a victim of political violence. And then, of course, you have the president himself. That is the context for what we're talking about tonight. And we also know more about the specifics on the gunman himself. Matt, you've been looking into that.
We do have a name right now, Tony. It is Cole Thomas Allen, 31, from Torrance, California, just south of Los Angeles. Our understanding so far is that he has no known criminal record. We don't know much more other than the pictures we are now seeing of him being taken down, hands shackled behind him, zip-tied, face down. We do know that he brought at least two weapons in, a shotgun and a handgun. He was able to fire some of them, as you saw him sprint through that security cordon towards that room that was closed off, sealed, as the president had just said, with many, many hundreds of journalists, VIPs, and politicians inside. We don't have a motive, but we don't exactly know what his target was at this moment.
We don't have a moment. We have the context, and I'll give you another note on the context here. There's the pattern of political violence with other politicians for many years now. We've had these conversations, it seems like every other week sometimes. And on the way out, as we were all escorted out, forced down one particular pathway, there are protesters. It is a free speech event. Protest is a free speech right. One of the signs that I saw on the way out said, "Death to tyrants, death to them all." Protected speech, open speech, and the kind of speech that can lead a broken mind to charge a security checkpoint like we just saw.
And Tony, I was in the room before this incident happened, talking to a White House official about all the threats that they have been getting. And they were talking about the decision that they were making about whether to move and where to move, because there is this heightened threat environment. You have several top White House officials and cabinet members who are actually living on an army base right now because it was determined that that was the safest.
We look out. Storms stayed away from central Oklahoma, Stillwater area, and much of central and north central Oklahoma. So this is gonna be it for now. Goodbye. See you next time.